Welcome to Building the Best You, a destination for you to reimagine what is possible in your life and then create it. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Jeanne Collins, and today we are going to talk about stress. Oh my goodness. We have Elle Ingalls on the show. She is an author, a coach, a speaker, and she has what's called the pressure-free method. She has 2 books out. She coaches people. She does retreats. She does all kinds of really cool things to help us deal with stress. And Elle and I spoke before for about an hour, and we just gabbed and gabbed and gabbed when we met the first time. So hopefully we can bring some of that conversation to our talk today, where we can talk about wellness and stress and how you help individuals and corporations. So Elle, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Jeanne. It's great to be here.
It's great to see you again. So before we dive into everything you do, you have a super interesting background. And so I would love if you could share a little bit about your professional background and a little bit about you and your life.
Well, I'm a New Englander, so I grew up in New Hampshire, went to the University of Michigan, and they don't warn you when you go to college that you might never go home again because you might meet the person of your dreams, right? All these miles away. So raised our family here. We have 3 sons here in Michigan, and it was actually my son. So my background is in sports, music, and business. So I like to think of it. And so I actually rowed for Michigan. I had never rowed before. And I made the varsity boat my freshman year. So it was really, really fun, amazing experience. A lot of my coaching comes from being in a team of 8 women all in sync. Like that's a very profound and cool thing to do. And then I was the first woman in orchestral conducting. So first woman to cut the symphony at Michigan, which was a really big deal and really exciting. And I also got an MBA. I wanted to have a family, and I was looking, this would be late 80s, early 90s, and I was watching my women colleagues get on the short list for orchestras, but never getting hired. And I thought, how can I be traipsing all over the world trying to get a job, and I want to have a marriage and a family? Right? So I went into symphony management. It was tough. I mean, my conducting professor to this day, like just before he died, I saw him a few months before he died, and he still said, "Why aren't you on the podium? Like, why aren't you conducting?" He's Swiss, so he still had this heavy Swiss accent, And actually, he was at Yale before he came to Michigan, so a lot of Connecticut, Michigan connection there, and he was so disappointed in me. But I chose to be in symphony management. My husband and I created a music school. We were very integral in our community, raised our children, and it was my older 2 sons were just sitting around the dining room table, just shooting the breeze. And my eldest goes, "Mother, you should coach our baseball team in your mental toughness tips that you teach your violin students and us. We would be amazing." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you want me in the dugout? That's crazy, right?" I mean, even in 2nd grade, it was throw the snacks. Don't come near the dugout, Mom, right? So I was like, okay, you guys are serious. And I looked at my middle son and he said, "We want you, Mom. We really want you to." So I took the ideas to the coaches, and the head coach was a financial advisor for Chase at the time. And he said, "Oh my gosh, I want you to work with the boys, but will you be my private coach?" And I didn't even know what to charge. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I didn't know what to say. Like, I said absolutely yes. But then I was like, okay, what am I how much am I going to charge him? And what am I going to do? Like,
Right. Yeah.
And then my department chair, where I taught violin for years, she finds out what I'm doing and literally grabs her checkbook and she goes, "I need you. How much is your course?" And I go, "It's not a course." She goes, "Well, it will be." I want it. So she became my second client. And I just really dug in. It was almost as if, this is how my husband described it. He said, it was like, when you have all these gears, but they're not all fitting.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, it's as if all the gears of my entire life and all my experiences just went, and I was just like off and running. I ended up doing a seminar for the entire faculty at that college. Like things just opened up.
Yeah.
And so that was 2010, 16 years ago this month. Actually, my anniversary of my business is tomorrow, the 15th.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thanks, because I stuck in. Most entrepreneurs give up in the first year and the first 5.
Of course,
and I just have stuck with it. And I'd have to say the reason I have, I've had times that were really tough. And And I've stuck with it because of the benefits that my clients get.
Mm.
And it will be like, if I'm thinking, oh my gosh, maybe I should be doing something different, or I'll get this beautiful text from someone. I just got one from a teen that I coached, a volleyball player. She's down in Texas now. And she goes, I just had to write to you to tell me, I coached her 3 years ago.
Yeah.
She goes, I had to write to you to tell you just how impactful what you shared with me was. And she just went all these paragraphs of what's happening in her life now and what she worked through. And, it's like moments like that where I go, okay, this is what I was born to do. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how it got started.
Which is
It's
such a
crazy.
cool story. So first of all, kudos to you. So you just
Thank
glazed
you.
over this, but one of the things that you did, which is so important, is you just said yes. And you just followed your
I
gut.
did.
You said yes. It felt really aligned. You didn't wait until you had it all buttoned up. I am sure you did not have a website. You didn't have a process.
I had no
You didn't have
website.
pricing. You didn't have anything.
I didn't have anything.
You had nothing. But what you did have was a concept and a passion for that concept and a desire to figure it out. A desire to figure out how to take your special skills and serve other people with that. So I think that's so important as entrepreneurs, because sometimes we just pause. We don't jump in. People
Yeah,
want to wait.
we
They're like,
hesitate a lot.
We hesitate. It's like, well, I don't want to talk about it until I have a website, or I don't want to talk about it until I, have like 10 different Google reviews and all these testimonials. And so many of the entrepreneurs I know, it feels like they fell into it, but they didn't. They've been working at it, but the opportunity just arose and they took advantage of it, which I think is super important as an entrepreneur. And as a woman navigating life's paths and pivots and turns with the different stages of life too.
That's a great one to say. Sometimes I was 40, almost 48 when I created this. And over these years, like I'm 63 now, I would say to myself, oh my gosh, am I too old? Like I'm not trying to be an influencer. Okay.
Yeah.
But I do content. I have over 1,000 public videos on my YouTube channel, but I love that you said website, because I was a GoDaddy girl. Like I'd make my little website. I make my little website, and the second year of my business, I land this big speaking engagement on Navy Pier. It's just a huge place in Chicago.
Yep.
International Jewelry Convention. Okay. So it was every aspect of the jewelry industry, including like the platinum. My sponsor for my event was the Platinum Sorcerer in New York.
Yes.
Like fascinating people, right?
Yeah.
But it was 2011, and what he told me, he said, you need to know the people in the room are the ones who have survived, because many jewelers lost their businesses during that stretch of 2008 to 2010.
Yes, right.
Yep. And he goes, these are the survivors, and they're so stressed, which is why they brought me and another stress management coach in. So, but my website was so bad. I literally sat on the floor of my mother-in-law's home and like did this stupid little video. And so I asked the program person, I go, why did you choose me? Like there's all these. And she goes, I chose you because you are real. And our people need real right now. And I thought, okay, so we don't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
I grew up in the classical musical world where you cannot make a mistake in an audition or you will not win.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Like you cannot make an error. And not only that, but you have to play with complete phrasing, like all the elements, absolutely as perfect as you can. So many of my clients resonate with that. Like, I just want to be so perfect. And that's all the stress. And, it's just compounds when we try to be so perfect. So that was interesting to me too. It's like, just do it messy. Just get it out there. Let people know what you're doing. You just don't know who will like that and who will want that.
Which is true. And really, ironically, right now, in this day and age where we are right now, where video is everywhere and people are on every platform. And as a content creator, like as a business owner, you have to be a content creator. You have to be advocating for your brand. You have to have your face out there. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. The thing I hear again and again and again from experts in that space is that people want real, especially because AI can make everything fake. So everybody wants real, and people want more of that connection, especially since COVID. So here we are, fast forward 16 years, And it's still the
Uh-huh.
same thing. And how cool is that? It's sort of like some of these basic principles of running a business and how you show up in the world as authentically you, representing your
Mhm.
business, still
Yeah,
apply. Like that formula still works.
it still applies.
It still works. I love it. And you also coach, I don't want to miss this part too. You coach like
Mhm.
all ages and people who are athletes and people who are musicians and people who are artists and people in business and
Mhm.
CEOs and entrepreneurs. Like you coach
Mhm.
everybody.
And of course, what do my business coaches say? You need to niche this out, Elle, right?
Well, that's okay. So that was going to be my question, right? Because for all of the
Mhm.
people that are like trying to start a business, and I'm picking your business brain here,
Right.
for them, we're going to shift everything that you do. But for people that are thinking about starting a business, that is one of the initial challenges is like you got to like hone in and niche in because your message has to resonate with that person. But yet you are
Right.
working with and talking to a teenage athlete, which is going to be incredibly different than a finance CEO. So how are
Mhm.
you as a business owner, how are you flexing from here to there and helping all of those different types of people? How's that happen?
The first thing I would say is I don't like to be pigeonholed. Like in my whole career, I loved running a symphony because it was a small symphony. I got to do everything. I did finance, I did marketing, I did all the donors. I did it all. It was so fun because every day was different.
Yeah.
So by coaching people of different ages, the common denominator with I'd say about 3/4 of my clients is that they're high achievers. They want to do more
Yeah.
without feeling so anxious or stressed or, we lift up the hood and what's really going on. But
Yeah.
on the outside, it's like they are go-getters. They really want to make things happen in the world or, in their communities, on their team. They want to be leaders.
Mhm.
Most of them have a leadership component to their lives. And then there's a small group of people that I coach that I would say come to me because they've been anxious for way too long. Like
Mm.
they've been stuck in anxiety. Maybe they've been in therapy for years and still haven't broken through. They've had panic attacks and it scared them.
Yeah.
On my website is an HR director of a major company who took herself to the hospital. She writes about this. She took herself to the hospital thinking she was having a heart attack, but it was a panic attack.
Ooh.
She tried all these different therapies and all these things. And then a colleague of hers told her about me. And in the very first session, it all became clear. Like it was just like, oh, I get it. And then she said this, she goes, yes, this is going to help me at work, but this is going to change my family for generations to come. She has 5 children. So
Wow.
it's like,
It's a lot
okay,
of anxiety with that just by itself.
just getting everybody out the door in the morning. But what she said to me was so interesting. She goes, if it had been a heart attack, they could have fixed that.
Yeah.
But it was a panic attack and they really couldn't fix that.
Mm.
So then it kind of weighs on you. Is this going to happen again? Like, when is this going to happen
Of
again? Like
course.
all these roiling thoughts, right? And
Yes.
like, this is taking me out of my game, and she's just a real high achiever. So those tend to be my clients. They one or the other. And I love doing all ages. And when I work with a 10-year-old, they get what I teach my adult clients. Like
They
I
do.
don't water it down. I even share scientific words because they
Yeah.
love it. They think
Yeah.
it's cool. And they're like, they want to be treated like really intelligent people they are, right?
Yes.
And I can
Correct.
think back, I don't have a really good memory. So I can think back to exactly how I thought when I was 10. When I was 12 in Concord, New Hampshire, I actually played in an adult chamber concert because I was the second best violinist in the whole town. So,
Wow.
so like, so I thought I knew it all.
Of course
So
you did.
that kind of knowledge, like these little gymnasts that don't even go to regular school because they're headed to the Olympics, like
Right.
they are, so intelligent about how they're trying to craft their life because this is their choice. Their parents aren't
Yeah.
making them do this.
Right. Sure.
This is what they want to do.
Yeah.
So I do work with all ages, but niche is important too. My new daughter-in-law, my son married my client, actually. So that's kind of fun.
We love that. So cool.
Yeah, she's a ski coach. She was actually nominated NCAA Woman of the Year, Athlete of the Year at University of New Hampshire, like amazing skier. And so she niched to skiers and then does some other sports as well, like golf and tennis.
Mhm.
But ski is her main thing. And she went through my program and I helped her really open up. She got her first client in mental performance coaching for skiing like 2 weeks into working with me, which
Yeah.
is fabulous.
Yes.
And she has a waiting list. She has
It's
clients
incredible.
from all over the world. So you can get very specific on something, and then all your messaging is to that, and that's fabulous.
All right. So you give me the opportunity to ask about, because you do so many different things with your business and just as a
Yeah.
person and a human being, right? But you, in addition to being a coach, you coach people and teach people your method on how they can do it too. So I think before we get to that, can we talk about your method, but make sure we circle back,
Sure.
because I think it is super
Okay.
interesting and will be interesting to a lot of listeners how you can help other people in the coaching space to maybe become a slightly different type of coach. So your method, can we talk about your method first?
So back in 2010, when the boys asked me to do that, I did have these very simple tools. I called them the 9 basic tools. And that's what I started working with. And then I quickly figured out that how stress presents in us is so individuated. What we feel, what triggers us, what experiences we have. So I built over 50 tools and I built a whole course. So I actually have curriculum that I coach my clients. So this method has 3 simple steps. The first is targets. What are you aiming for? So when you can decide a few things, and sometimes it's hard for people to pull this out, especially if they're really stressed, but usually it's around performance or money. Like I want more money in my business. I want to get a promotion. I want to change jobs. Like there's something going on there, or you're in transition, looking for the next best thing. So there's performance. Then there's health. So you could have some serious things going on, or I've had a panic attack, or there's just, or you just want to prevent things like prevent cancer, prevent heart disease, but whatever. So all those things the stress response has a role in those. And then last is relationships. So you want a better relationship with your parent or your spouse or your child. There's something going on in there. That often is a byproduct of the first 2. Like most people are pinging on those first 2, but then all of a sudden they're having this better relationship because they're not overreacting all the time.
Right. Sure.
So that changes things quite a bit. So what is your target? Sometimes, Jeanne, people come to me and they go, Elle, I can't even tell you. I don't even know what the future brings me. I'm just so messed in this spot. I just want to feel happier.
Yeah.
Or like one mother said to me, I just want to be more composed when the chaos hits. Like I don't do well in the chaos.
That's
right?
a good one.
She goes, she goes, I just want to be so much more composed. I want to have composure.
Yes.
I hear that at work too, when you'll get an email and you start overreacting. You're like, no, I just want to be able to take it in and stay neutral. And so things like that. I had one teen say to me, she'd been in full chronic anxiety for 2 years. Her dad was an executive at Kellogg, and he said, listen, my baby girl hasn't smiled in 2 years.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
It was so heartbreaking. There'd been a divorce. There'd also been, she's biracial and she moved to a different school. And so there was a whole, like all these components, right?
Yeah.
All these components. She chose to live with her dad, who lives in the country. So beautiful house on a lake, by the way, but they have to go buy deer, and so she's so afraid we're going to hit a deer.
Oh,
we have a lot of deer in Michigan.
Yeah, right. Of course.
A lot of deer.
Yeah, of course.
So, and she'd see them on the side of the road. And so she's starting to learn to drive and just freaking out about all
everything.
That.
Right.
So when she got on first time together, she goes, Elle, I seriously need to feel happy again.
Oh,
right.
That's
that was her
heartbreaking.
thing. And I go, then that's the target, right?
Right.
So that's our target. When I worked with her, and I'm going to share this right here. So in the first session, I teach people about the stress response. And there's 2 floods of hormones. First flood are called catecholamines. It's a cocktail of adrenaline, noradrenaline, and dopamine, which is why I believe some people are addicted to adrenaline. They get a hit of dopamine in the bloodstream. Not up here, but in the bloodstream.
Yeah.
So that's why we can fight or run away.
Yeah.
Second flood of hormones are glucocorticoids. I'll refer to it as cortisol. Everybody's talking about cortisol today.
Yeah.
But they don't talk about the catecholamines. If you don't release the catecholamines, an abundance of cortisol does not go out. So the secret is the first flood.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Not to reduce cortisol. You actually need that to fix your brain and your extremities
Yeah.
from the first flood. So it's very beautiful how we're designed.
Yeah.
So with the second flood, one of the side effects is you can feel anxious for no reason.
Okay.
So when I taught that to that girl, she goes, oh, she goes, I get it. She goes, like, she goes, half of the reason I feel so anxious and worried all the time is because of that.
Yes.
So she goes, if I don't release this, then these won't go out. I go, exactly. And she looks at me with tears in her eyes and she goes, that makes me cry when I think about it. She goes, I haven't told the story in a while. She goes, I can do this.
Yes.
I go, yes, you can.
Yes.
And in 2.5 weeks, she broke the stress response. She broke the cycle of stress hormone release.
Yeah.
And she had a real smile on her face for the first time in years. And it was
In
like
2.5
oh
weeks.
my
That's
goodness.
amazing.
And no, so at that point, that was the fastest anybody had a breakthrough with me. It was 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Usually it's like 6 to 8 weeks because we have habits of reaction that are generations old.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, it's been there for so long. It's
for
we don't
so
know,
long.
and we don't even. It happens. We don't even think about it. It's happening.
We don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll think it's our culture. I had one client who goes, listen, I'm just this way because I'm an Italian Jew. This is who I am. And he's like waving his hands all around, right? And so I said to him, I was actually coaching the couple, the two of them together. I said, well, let's just see what happens. Okay. Like, I can't make any promises to any client, any prospect.
Right.
But let's just see what happens. And when a few months in, he wrote me the most beautiful email about how he stayed totally pressure-free, getting his son ready for school. His wife owns 2 orthodonture practices, and so he takes his son to school every morning.
Mm-hmm.
How he didn't overreact, how it was a beautiful drive to school, no overreaction. And so in my head, I'm going, right, so that's you.
Yeah.
But that's you not under the influence of these stress hormones.
Right.
I never thought, Jeanne, I'd be talking about hormones all day. It's like, I actually thought that was a bad word when I was a little girl. We have to, when you understand it all, it just makes sense.
Yes.
So I've really tried to create a methodology that makes sense, that's easy for people to do.
Yeah.
And is very, very effective because it's based on the science of the stress response.
Right. Sure. Which for super intelligent people, they can relate to that because the other thing that you're giving them by explaining the science is you're answering the question of why am I doing this and why can't I control it? Which a lot of times, right? Especially with panic attacks, anxiety. It's like, but I know in my brain I shouldn't do this, or my brain, like logically, people understand.
Right.
I should be able to control my emotions. I should be happy. Look at everything I have. I should be happy. Why don't I feel happy? All of the things that we should be doing, but yet people who are really anxious or have a lot of stress have a really hard time doing. But you're explaining to them why their body is doing what they're doing.
Right. It's a big eye-opener for why even little things like the eye twitch or losing hair. I had a client who was losing her hair, sweating, cold hands and cold feet. Your physician will probably say, oh, I think you have a thyroid issue.
Yeah.
I always want to say, let's check and see if you have a stress response issue first.
Yeah.
Like anything going on chronically usually has a root in these releases of hormones. So if we can prevent that, let's just see what's happening. And when I started this, again, I really just thought I was helping people perform at a higher level. But all of a sudden, all these help things happen. They happened for me too. And I'd love to share that.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
It's quite personal. But my first big violin competition in New England, this hand broke out in eczema so severely, I had cracked and bleeding knuckles for 35 years.
Oh my goodness.
Especially here and here. Yeah. And I'm just going to show my hand for those watching.
Yes.
Like that. Those are 63-year-old fingers.
Yeah.
And I've never had skin like this in my whole life. And skin is our largest organ.
Yes, of course.
So if anyone, I'd had that for 35 years. If anybody had said, oh, I know a way to heal your eczema, I would have laughed. Like, I've tried everything. Yeah. I even gave up chocolate for 90 days. Like I've tried everything. Okay. So it's like, I would have been in complete denial that anybody could help me.
Yes.
And yet in 8 weeks of using my method on myself, my skin completely cleared. and my breast tissues changed. So I had dense fibrous breast tissues. I don't know if I shared this when we last talked, but
No.
yeah, I had dense fibrous breast tissues. I lost my mom to breast cancer. She was actually my age when she first got it, and then she passed away at 69, 68.
Oh.
Her mom lived to be 100. So it was very shocking to lose my mother.
Yeah.
And then my father just died of a broken heart, of a heart attack 3 months later. So
I'm so sorry.
I had those same tissues.
Yeah.
And in 8 weeks, my tissues completely changed. One of my certification clients, hers changed in 4.5 weeks.
Wow.
And it's like, oh my goodness, what's happening to us, right?
Yes. Right.
That got me really curious. So I would talk to endocrinologists, to all sorts of different professional people. I've coached psychologists, I've coached social workers. Like, I'm so curious to pick their brain about, like, what do they know?
Yeah.
How does what I'm doing fit in? And so, yeah, I've built something that is so really solid. And in fact, my writing coach in New York, when he found me and he goes, so I work with a lot of people in your space, but how do your people get these results? Like,
Yeah.
how are they getting these results? I was very curious about that. You know? And I go, well, if you base it on science, like the science of the stress response,
Right.
instead of, we will talk all day about feelings.
Yeah.
We'll talk all day about stuff up here, but what's happening biologically to us, that's what gets me really excited, actually.
Yeah. Well, and you're also going to what's the root cause.
That's right.
Which I think is so impactful. It's understanding what's the root cause of the symptoms that you're having. What is the root cause of that?
That's right. So target. It could be something you don't want. You don't want a disease, or you don't want to have horrible skin anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Step 2, triggers or tensions. What causes you to tense up? Like, if you look closely, this side of my face from how many years? 50, 60 years of playing violin, right?
Yeah.
It's like this side of my face is like mushed up.
Okay.
I work on it, by the way.
Yeah. Right.
We all
sure.
have different sides of our face, right?
Yeah. Right.
But this is my tension side.
Okay.
And because it was so locked in from hours and hours, like there were times in college I was practicing 10 hours a day
Oh my
or
goodness.
playing 10 hours a day. So then at night, this was my grind side.
Yeah. Right. Sure. Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
where do you feel tension? A lot of people in the shoulders, some people chest, some people belly, even hands and feet. One girl I coached cut in her hands from squeezing so hard. She was a really talented athlete. She was a college athlete, just squeezing.
Yeah.
So we all hold tension places physically. Now, what about the tensions mentally? What makes you feel certain emotions that can trigger that stress response? And now you're in an overreactive mode.
Right.
It's like we'll say things and do things we later regret.
Yeah.
So it's like noticing all those little things. So triggers or tensions, what's causing you or could cause you to trigger the stress response? It could be the alarm on this little box.
Right.
It could be notifications or emails from a certain person or the text, you can't really tell what they're trying to tell you.
Yeah.
It's just
Sure.
so many things. So with my clients, we debunk that. We just get real patient and gentle with ourselves, because high achievers will beat themselves up because they notice they've triggered themselves over something they've had for like 30 years. It's
Right,
like,
sure.
oh my gosh.
Yes.
So patience. And then third step, tools and the 10-second solution.
Okay.
So from a resting heart rate, it can take up to 10 seconds before the 2 mechanisms in the brain kick off fight or flight.
Okay.
The first mechanism goes straight to those adrenal glands and releases that flood of catecholamines.
Yeah.
And the second tells our body to create more cholesterol because cortisol is built from cholesterol.
Okay.
And the cortisol is building in the outer skin of the adrenal gland. So that whole mechanism is starting to form in order to provide that big flood of hormones later. To fix the brain cells in the extremities, get the salt, sugar, and water content of the cell back to normal. Now we're functioning and back in homeostasis.
Yeah.
So it's a divine system, but it lasts for hours.
Okay.
And once you trigger, you're vulnerable to trigger again and again and again.
Yes.
So the whole key to pressure-free living is what can you do in that 10 seconds
Yeah.
to prevent the first release?
Aha.
it's so simple, right?
Right.
But we're so
Sure.
complex.
Right. Of course. Yeah. So easy to say that. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
So
Yeah.
easy to
Just
say
breathe
it, right?
through
Right.
it. Yeah. Breathe through it.
I was working with a hot-headed hockey player. He goes, I don't have 10 seconds. I have 0.6 seconds. Right?
Yeah. Right. No
So
kidding.
I said, well, that's enough time to smile.
Yeah.
That's enough time to relax your belly.
Okay.
If all you did was that, relaxing the belly sends a signal to the brain. There's no reason to be afraid
Okay.
because our abs are protective mechanism from an attack.
Yeah.
We don't
Right.
have ribs down there.
Yeah.
So we tighten up.
Sure.
So just relaxing the belly is a very simple tool.
Okay.
I was just on a call with a woman. This woman is so multi-talented. And this is, I think, she's in her third. Like I do 3 months coaching, 3 months, and usually people are off and running, but sometimes
Okay.
they want to go deeper.
Sure.
So she's
Yep.
on her third.
Okay.
So now we're like getting into the real fine things. But she was talking about that. Like, now I see this, and now I can do this with my child, and now I can see this happening in my professional life, and
Yeah.
things that would cause such major overreactions. And, a lot of those reactions are the deepest fears, like fear of failure, fear
Yeah.
of rejection.
Right. Yes.
One of my dear cousins, he's a leadership coach in the Finger Lakes, and he gave me one that I've been bringing up to my clients. It's the fear of betrayal. So like if you've worked for an organization for a long time and suddenly they're laying off 100 people,
right.
and you had 25 years into this place, right?
Mhm.
It was your home, away from home.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're gone. In one conversation, you are now terminated. Like it happens like boom.
Mm-hmm.
And so fear of betrayal with relationships, with organizations, like that's kind of an interesting one to pull in. So tools, 10-second solution. My tools come in 3 types. So using your body to inform your mind that you're safe, using your mind. And then the third are what I call life design tools.
Okay.
So very unique tools around time management, planning, strategic planning, personal planning, business planning, whatever people are working on. I've probably read over 100 books since I was like 20 years old on these topics. And so I've kind of assimilated things to create like simple steps in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And that's why I think a lot of the leaders, like I was working with, he's like second in command in Asia Pacific with this big company. And he goes, I've been in hundreds of hours of leadership training and no one's taught me what you taught me.
Right.
It's like, he goes, I'm a totally different leader now.
Yeah.
I see my team. I hear my team.
Mhm.
What do people complain about? My boss doesn't see or hear me.
Right. Yeah. My boss doesn't
And
know
he's
who I am.
like, yeah, they don't know who I am.
Right.
And that's
You're
because
just a number.
they're stressed.
Yeah, of course.
They can't even see you.
Yeah, no.
Right?
It's like when you're having that conversation with someone and you can see that they are already thinking about their response and they're not actually even listening to you. And it happens all the time, and especially in corporate, it happens all the time. But it also happens in people's relationships at home all the time.
Yeah.
People
And now
really
we have
aren't
this.
present. They're not present.
They're like, yeah, so what are you talking about?
Right. Yeah. Right. There's a presence to what you're teaching because you're teaching people to tune in to their mind and to their body and to their environment, which is forcing them to have to be much more present in life.
Yes.
Mhm.
You gain presence and you also gain a much wider perspective because I think we became indoor people about 200 years ago.
Yeah.
Like if we went back in time, you and I would get up, we'd be milking the cow, or we'd be taking care of this, and then we'd finally eat, right? And then we'd be out all day in the field,
right?
And then we come in, right?
Yeah.
It's like we were outdoor people. And then with the pandemic, we really shut down and got tight and closed. And so I was just working with the Junior Chamber of Commerce, which is a real up and coming group in our city. Our city is really full of a lot of young people making stuff happen. It's a really up and coming city.
That's exciting.
So it is exciting. My sons have been all a part of that. And so talking with them, and they even mentioned, like, even though it's a few years after the pandemic, they were caught in it in college and in high school. And so they're like, I love this because I get to be with people and get together, everybody.
Yeah, it's the experience that they didn't get to have because the pandemic took that away for them. Yeah, which is a huge problem for the younger generation, for sure.
And it caused so many stressors, so many stressors.
Sure.
So that really compounded things, I think, for a lot of people. So 3 simple steps: targets, triggers, tools. And then I love to say the one T word we're going to kind of move over here is try,
Mm-hmm.
because I noticed that the word try usually means we cannot do it. Like, oh, so Jeanne, you have an event coming up. Oh, I'll try to be there.
Yeah.
You don't think I'm going to make it? It's
No.
like,
No.
I gave myself an out, right?
Yes, of course.
I gave myself an out.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'll try to be there.
Yeah.
That's not
That's as close
very
to a no
helpful.
as you can get. Yep.
It's as close, right? So I use the word play very intentionally. I'm like, we're gonna just play here,
Yeah.
because again, you've got some of these habits you had for when you were in utero, like a
Yeah.
long time.
Yep.
And so we're going to be gentle. We're just going to figure out like what's going on, and we're going to celebrate every little win.
Mm.
So some of my tools have built-in celebration to them.
Yeah.
Because we need to celebrate those little wins so that we can gain some traction.
Sure. Yeah. You need momentum.
We need
Yeah.
momentum.
And you need the positive energy that comes with celebrating the win. That is releasing a
right.
very positive energy out there, which we need more of that because our brains are naturally speaking in a very negative tone to us all day long. And so we
It's
have to
amazing.
actively engage the positive side and the putting out of the positive energy for sure.
We sure do. We sure
Yeah.
do. And you can be stuck in one area of your life that really then infiltrates everything else. Like
Mhm.
I had a client in Hawaii, and one thing I love is that I can coach anybody anywhere in the world
Yeah.
thanks to
Yeah.
technology
Right.
today.
Which is great.
It's fantastic. And so she's in Hawaii, and she had her own business. She's an artisan. She makes jewelry that she sells in all the shops. And she had a partner. She had a weight problem, and she's a volunteer for sea turtles.
Okay.
And she noticed that she would get very overreactive if people got too close to the eggs or whatever she was guarding. Like
Yeah.
if the tourists, she would have an instant overreaction.
Yeah.
So the overreacting in her volunteer activity was bleeding into her relationship.
Sure.
She'd come home from that, not happy that she worked with the sea turtles, but mad at the tourists. And then she'd like take it out on her partner. Like,
Right.
so it was this like bleeding over. And she wrote to me once and she goes, working with you has changed the trajectory of every area of my life.
Mm.
And
Just
that's because
powerful.
like we really kind of dug in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden this started to shift.
Right.
Now you see, that's a celebration, right?
Sure.
You see, oh my gosh, I'm getting along with him so much better. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Right. Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It has a spiraling effect. But also because you're teaching tools to people that apply to so many different life situations. It's not
Oh my
just
gosh, yeah.
like stress comes with every facet of life and is applicable to everyone. It's the one thing we all have, and we all have these hormones. And so we all have this. Everything you're talking about, we all have. No one is unique and doesn't have it. But the tools that you teach and the method that you teach, once you learn it, and let's say you come in and your target is to learn it in a work environment, I would think you can't unlearn it when it comes to all the other areas of your life. So once
That's
you,
so true.
right, like you don't unlearn it over there. You
Yeah.
learn these tools and those become your new way of being, just like a new lifestyle, a new health routine,
Yeah.
all those things. Once you do them long enough, living a healthy lifestyle is a lifestyle.
It is the lifestyle. It's
It
funny
is the
because my
lifestyle.
eldest, that's what he said one day. He goes, Mother, you've created a lifestyle, like a
Yeah.
way of living.
Exactly.
So he was 18 when I created this, and he and I were the first two to like super dig in and like
Yeah.
really do it.
Yeah.
We both kept waking up earlier and earlier till one morning. It's a Saturday morning. I'm on the computer at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
Just like working away. He comes bounding down the stairs at 5 a.m. Teenager, 18 on the weekend, right? And he goes, Mother, how come I wake up every morning calm and exhilarated? What is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
And I go, honey, I think for the first time, we are getting a real deep delta wave sleep.
Sure. Yeah.
So we don't need as many hours.
Yeah. Right.
And we're waking up refreshed and just
Yes.
like ready to go.
Yeah. Your body is recovering.
Oh my gosh, if that isn't, our body isn't needing to get rid of all the stress hormones all night because they
Yeah.
literally, the cycle can last up to 24 hours for women and up to 9 for men. Like
Wow.
hours that your body's dealing with these hormones.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. So we're like, oh,
Yeah. So you're really getting the zen of sleep, which sleep is like the number one thing you can do for your health is to get a good night's sleep and get enough sleep. And to your point, get really restful sleep.
and we hear so much about it.
Yeah, it's the key
Yeah,
to everything related to preventing every type of disease out there,
that's
and to
right.
reverse the
Yeah.
signs of aging as well, and to keep your brain going is to be
Yeah.
able to give your brain the shutdown that it really needs at night through restful sleep, like true deep sleep, which a lot of people are not getting.
And now we learned, like 2022, the research came out about the glymphatic system, which is
Mhm.
a cleansing system of the brain, just like our lymphatic system.
Right.
But there are a couple things, like if sometimes my younger clients, like they're smoking weed every night to try and get to sleep.
Yep.
Like they can't get to sleep. And once we legalize in the state,
Yeah.
it really becomes rampant. People have no
Sure.
idea how much. I hear about it quite a bit.
Yeah.
And you can't get into a deep delta wave sleep, nor can your glymphatic system work properly on weed.
Right.
And then also your ability to wake up in the morning. Actually, it was a client in Rhode Island that I had who, it was just like a weekend thing and then an every night thing and then a couple times during the day thing. Like it's like
Right.
been constant. And so she would wake up more and more tired every morning. Every morning she lost
Yeah.
her jobs. Like she couldn't keep a job. And so it's kind of cool when you get a real sleep. You don't need any sleep aids.
Yeah.
You don't need to wear your wearable
Yeah.
because sometimes the wearable causes the anxiety.
Right.
It's like, oh, I didn't get a good night's sleep, and so now I'm going to have a crappy day. And
Yes.
it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
maybe we need to
Right.
take that off.
When is
right?
information power and when is information not a good thing? Yes.
Oh my
Right.
gosh, I love that you said
Right.
that.
And it's
That's
finding
a
the
beautiful
balance.
quote.
It's finding the balance of where the information
Yeah.
helps. Yeah. All right. So before we run out of time, I want to make sure we do talk about how you train other coaches through your program and through your method. Because if there are people who are listening, we have a lot of listeners who are in the coaching, personal wellness, personal growth, holistic health space. And I think a lot of what you do is really impactful. So can you talk for a minute about that side of your business?
So the benefits of learning this and bringing it into your practice as coaches, as people helping others, whether that's therapy, coaches, whatever, we see our clients just struggle. And you've given them great advice. You've given them great tools. It's like, why can't they assimilate it and actually do it? A lot of times it's simply because they're just too stressed.
Yeah.
And they want it, like the desire is there. And so by bringing pressure free into it, what my clients who've gone through certification have found is that it's like this instant boost for them to now be able to do
Mm.
what they really want to do, get those
Yeah.
desired results,
Yeah. Yep.
So what I do is we just have a conversation and I find out about the person who wants to do this and depending on like their personal situation, because sometimes like some of my most stressed people have been yoga coaches. It's
Wow.
very stressful to have a yoga studio. Like you barely
Mm.
make enough money to survive. Like it's really
Sure.
hard.
Yeah, it's a hard way to make a living. And you're supposed to be zen all the time, which is also hard
Exactly.
when the business is not
expectation-
zen. Yes.
The business is not zen. You're supposed to emulate what you are this. Your embodiment of your practice is what
Yeah.
draws people to work with you.
Totally.
So what I found is that sometimes we'll do the 3-month first. Let's
Yeah.
just help you first.
Yeah.
And then we'll do certification in another 3-month.
Okay.
Sometimes I have people who are, they're such consummate coaches, therapists, whatever. Like I have a psychologist right now. We're going straight to learn the method, master it, and be able to teach it concurrently.
Right. Yep.
So we really just assess that with a person.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that first 3 months, we assess, do you want more? So I have a second track where if you're new or maybe your business has stalled, I just have things that I can share around business to
Yeah.
help open that all up for people too.
Right.
Even
Which is also
the
helpful.
simplest things like how you're tracking everything and
Yeah.
how you're making that happen. So
Yeah.
that's I wanted to create a ripple effect and I didn't want to franchise. Like
Yeah.
I wanted people to be empowered and be off and running.
Yes.
And so that's why I built the method the way I did. And again, I have a business coach who says, you should be franchising this. I was like, but I get to run my
Right.
business my way.
Right,
It's why
exactly.
I created my own
Of
business.
course,
I have
of
always been
course.
my own boss. I was an executive for years. And then, so I get to run it the way I want. That's empowering actually to say, this is really what I want to do and how I want to do it.
Yeah.
But it's been a real joy to build that program and help people be able to help others. I
Yeah,
love it.
which is
So,
great. And that you are also, you're coaching them. And so it's like you're just coaching on a
yeah.
different subject. And so I can see why you don't want to franchise that, because then you miss that personal connection, because every
Oh
person
my
that you're
gosh. Yeah.
certifying through your program is going to be incredibly unique, and their service is unique, their
Yes.
niche is unique, what they do is unique,
Oh yeah.
how they're trying to serve the world is unique. And so by keeping you personally involved, it keeps you that personal connection with the concept and with the method. Yeah, it's a little control, yes, but it also makes it so you have the greatest impact in the people that you touch. And then they have the impact on you, because it does
Yes.
give back to
Oh, I
you.
learned
It
so
fuels
much.
you, and it helps you grow as a coach and a
Oh
person,
yeah.
because then you get challenged.
Yes.
I am sure people come to you and ask you different questions, and you're like, huh, I hadn't thought about that. Like, oh, wow. Okay, maybe I need to write a book on that one. Yeah.
So much. My accountability partner this morning, we were talking about money, and she goes, your next book should be Pressure-Free Money. So
Yes.
that's a big stressor
That's a
for
big one.
people.
It's a huge,
And
I mean, oh my goodness.
it's
Yes.
huge. Doesn't matter
Huge one.
where you fall. I've coached people who are extremely wealthy, and I've
Mhm.
coached people who are right on the edge. It doesn't matter where you
Doesn't
fall.
matter. No.
It's so tied to our value. There's so many elements to it. I was fortunate. My dad was a bank president, so we talked about money freely from the time I was little.
Yeah.
But some families never talk about money. So I was very fortunate to just have constant conversations about all of that.
And money in a relationship is like one of the number one reasons why people get divorced, is
And
from
why people
money.
argue.
Right. Of course, it's money. It's values over money, worth over money, how you spend it, how you save it, how you make it, everything. It's so tied to our
Yeah.
identities as well, and how we define ourselves
Uh-huh.
and our value, where we give money so much power that it doesn't need to have. And the stress over it gives money a lot of power too.
And it's interesting too,
Oh, I would love it if you wrote that book.
as entrepreneurs, then sometimes people who love us want to kind of get into our business.
Yeah.
like I have great ideas for you. And
Yeah.
it's like there's all that too, the relationship piece
Mm-hmm.
about
Sure.
what we're trying to build and how we're trying to build it.
Of course. Yeah.
So that's interesting too. And in my CEO book, I talk about people we've lost. It's a bold book. It's not my typical way, if you will, but I really wanted to get this message out. People we've lost before the age of 60 who are in CEO roles, leadership roles,
Mm-hmm.
like 2 McDonald's CEOs.
Yeah.
My grandmother actually went to school with the McDonald's twins. Or they're not twins, brothers. So I know the whole McDonald's story
Yeah.
from New Hampshire. But Steve Jobs, Susan Wojcicki, her sister is the CEO of 23andMe. They just went through the bankruptcy.
Yeah.
All of these things. And if you look at the diseases and the things, the root is always in the stress response. So
Crazy.
I have that book, and then I have Pressure-Free Parenting, which is from pregnancy to legacy. So it's all the way to your adult children. What are you building with your adult children? But I teach about 14 of my 50 tools in each of those books to get people started.
To get people going.
So they're like a good opener for understanding what this is all about. So, and then I speak too. So I do workplace trainings, and I do keynotes. And
you have retreats coming up in the fall. Talk about your retreats quickly.
One will be in Pentwater, Michigan. That's where my husband grew up. It's on Lake Michigan. It's one of the most charming places. You don't need to lock anything. It's just so charming. So I always hold one there. And then I also hold one in the fall in New Hampshire. So 2 retreats coming up. Those are on my website.
Perfect.
And occasionally I do trainings. I have it's like a e-zine blog. And if you sign in, then you'll find out what's up every month and what's going on. So that's on my site too.
Perfect. We will link all that in the show notes. Okay. 2 more questions for you. Is there anything that I missed that you want to make sure we cover before we run out of time?
Just one thing. Sometimes people say, isn't anxiety inherited? Isn't it genetic?
Interesting. Okay.
My mother had it, my grandfather, whatever. I've seen it run through the family. We imitate. So I love to tell people, just stay open to the fact that you can break this.
Okay. Yeah.
Just stay
I love
open,
that.
right? Because we will have preconceived notions that we can't on a lot of things.
Yeah,
and
of course.
So that's one that I see.
Yeah, which is powerful. Yes, that you can. We do have the ability. We can learn new things. And even if they're hard, we can learn new things. That's beautiful.
An old brain can learn new tricks.
It can, of course, and your body can learn new ways. It's
Yeah.
You can get new neural pathways. Like there's so much that you can do. And your body can heal itself. Your body is an incredible organ. There's so much going on.
It is.
You have such a capacity.
My eyesight is better.
That's amazing. Like you have such a capacity to heal too.
Yeah.
And stress ages us so fast. The more you can learn to control your stress response, it's aging us all as we speak. Okay, so I love to ask my guests if there's a book or books. Obviously, I'll link your books in the show notes, but if there's a book or books that has impacted you personally or professionally that you think people should read, what would you like to recommend?
So when I wanted to have my own business, I didn't know what it would be. I had no idea. It could be retail, could be whatever. I had a lot of different things that I liked. And I went into my library and this was on the shelf. Cash in a Flash by Mark Victor Hansen and Victor Hansen. Robert G. Allen and Mark Victor Hansen. So Robert G. Allen actually became my real mentor in real life for a whole year.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So I grabbed this book and the predecessor to it is The 1 Minute Millionaire. What I like about it is it's a story on one side and a how-to on the other.
Okay.
So it's a very unique book.
Yeah.
I got the CDs and I literally listened to both for probably over 100 times. As I was trying to put it in my thick head that I could actually start a business.
Okay. Yeah.
And I started a financial business, put a mentor in my life, which was one of the chapters. And he said, I really don't think that this is the best use of your gifts and talents. I've read your bio online. I think you should be doing something else.
Wow.
And
perfect mentor,
2 nights later, perfect mentor. He's still my mentor.
I love that.
2 days later, my sons and I were around that dining room table.
Love that. That is so great.
All he said was, just what I said, stay open.
Right. Open to the possibility.
No idea.
No idea.
Yeah.
Anything can change anytime, any day. It's never too late, everybody. Also, it's never too late.
Never too late.
You can pivot, you can change, you can shift. You can be having your purpose 1 year and then next year your purpose might shift and change because you're meant to do other different things. And there's nothing wrong with the course you were on. It just means now you're meant to pivot. Not everybody's meant to do the same thing for 40 years. It's all good.
Yeah, it's so true.
Good.
Yeah.
It is. Elle, thank you so much for coming on. You are just such a wealth of information. You do so much good in the world. And I hope everyone goes, they follow you on Instagram, they sign up for your newsletter, they go to your website, buy your books. Your method is fantastic. And you're really just one person at a time changing the world because we all need to figure out how to deal with stress. So I thank you for all you do. And thank you for being such a fun guest.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll definitely stay in touch. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Building the Best You. If you are ready to take a deeper dive into transforming your life, check out my Empowerment Fundamentals course on my website, houseofjermar.com. Thank you, and I will see you next week with another inspiring guest.